yesterday at Kennedy Space Center. It was worth the long bus ride to get there. Tomorrow is our Student of the Month celebration. Make sure you wear red, white, or blue to show our school pride. There is a green tea meeting tomorrow in the hub. Today's lunch is rib sandwich or lasagna with garlic bread.
Hey Patriots, it's Miss Greco here in the Hub. I just wanted to remind you where our inquiry station is set up in the Hub. It's over here in the corner when you come in through the side entrance. So we have our reminder of what the inquiry question is, the basket for where you can submit your inquiry questions that you think I should use, and then also our inquiry question of the week submission box. Now, I've been a little disappointed over the last couple of inquiry questions because I haven't had as many participants as I used to have at the very beginning of the year. So I want to make sure that you know where this box is located because I really want everybody to try to answer our inquiry question and submit an answer. So now for our last inquiry question about where Christmas carols came from, Miss Govin's class was the only class that submitted entries, which means Miss Govin's class is going to get a super special prize. So Miss Govin's class, because you were the only ones that submitted responses to the last inquiry question, and it wasn't even just one response from your class, I think I had a whole stack. I reach in here and dig deep, there is a whole stack of entries, and they are all from Miss Govin's class. So because of that, you have earned yourself a super special inquiry prize, and you are going to get an opportunity to come play in the makerspace, maybe with some robots. I'll get with your teacher and we'll figure it out. Now, Patriots, I have a contest that I wanted to bring to your attention that is super cool. So we've all heard of Google, and we use Google probably every day, but did you know that Google has a contest that they do once a year called Doodle for Google? So those of you who love to draw, this is the contest for you. So every year they come out with a theme, and they want you to use the theme as your inspiration to design a new Google logo. So this year the theme is I Show Kindness By. And I thought, what a perfect theme to fit with Pineview. Since kindness and caring are one of our learner profile attributes, I thought this theme fit perfect and I should bring this contest to you. So if you are interested in designing a Google logo based on the theme of I Show Kindness By, the entry basket is here with all the papers that you need to submit an entry into Google. And it is so super easy. The first page of this has all of the directions of how you submit an entry for this contest. And the second page has the top part where you describe where your inspiration is coming from in your drawing. And down here you have a tracing of the Google logo, which you add on to show how you are representing I Show Kindness By. So when you come to the Hub, if you are interested in this Doodle for Google contest, not only have I included the name of the contest on the sign, but you will see two pictures that show examples of how people have taken the Google logo and have turned it into a different drawing based on the year's theme. So if you are interested in this contest, there are entry forms down here next to the inquiry station in the Hub, and if you have questions about it, you can come talk to me and I will answer any questions that I can. I hope to see lots of submissions for Doodle for Google. Not only do you win prizes, but it's pretty cool to have your doodle up on Google for everyone to see.
Hey Patriots, I just wanted to remind you of this awesome corner here in the back of the Hub. I wanted to point out to you, if you haven't noticed already, we have a brand new TV. It's actually not brand new. We moved it from the makerspace out here, which Ms. Greco and I have big plans for the things that we're going to put here out on the TV to scroll and have you guys look at. I also wanted to remind you about our Units of Inquiry resource books that are here. Since you all are all starting a new unit, Unit 4, I had so much fun today going through the Hub finding books that go with your unit. So if you come here and find your grade level, you can look at all different kinds of books that go along with your unit. Even if you're studying space, I have some nonfiction books in there. I've got story books in there. If you're doing I've got some for 4th grade when you all start doing volcanoes. I've got chapter books in there of stories of things that happen in volcanoes. So make sure you come and check out this corner for some books that you could check out in the hub. Teachers, you can come and check out these books too to feed your classroom library and have your kiddos reading things with your inquiry unit. I also wanted to point out that every grade level got one of these tubs. Every time you have a unit, these tubs go to share for your whole grade level, so you guys can look and pick out books that go with your unit with here too. You don't have to check them out from the library. So make sure you ask your teachers where these tubs are in your pod. And just a reminder about the rest of the wall back here in the hub. You see, Miss Warren has cleared out all of your steps counts. We're all starting back to square one, 0 steps for quarter 3. So make sure that you are reading at home and turning in those steps papers so your class can win super awesome prizes. I know that the winners from quarter 2 are having fun with Miss Warren in the makerspace doing Dash robots. So who knows what quarter 3 step winners will get. Make sure your class is the winners there. And then also, just to remind you that our Sunshine State codes have changed every month. They change. So I've changed them up here for the Sunshine State Junior books and also for the Sunshine State books. I emailed your teachers the codes as well, so that if you're reading those Sunshine State books, you have to take a quiz so that you can get those brag tags. And remember, in February, anybody who's read 5 or more Sunshine State books gets to come and do an escape room with me in the makerspace. Okay, so make sure you come and check out this corner of the hub with Miss Greco's inquiry questions, her Google challenge, and then our inquiry books here too.
Hi, it's Doug. Now's the time of year that we get to do this. Happy New Year! Now, on the first day of the new year, I like to do 2 things. I like to look back on all the big things I did in the past year. So this year, I took a trip to visit my sister and her family in northern Canada. I started Mystery Doug, and I think about not just the good things that happened, but the bad things too. Like towards the very end of last year, I broke my arm. The other thing I like to do is think ahead to the new year. What kinds of things will I do? What will I accomplish? What will I learn? Someone named Zane has a question about the new year. Let's give him a call now.
Hi, Doug.
Hi, Zane.
I have a question for you. Why is January the first month of a new year?
That's a great question. When we look at history, when we go back and look at notes that people kept from long ago, we discover that we haven't always had names for months. The people who came up with our idea of months were the ancient Romans, and they gave the months their different names. For the first month, they chose the name of January for a special reason. They named it after Janus, who was one of the gods in their stories or myths. Now, you might know other characters from these Roman myths, like the god Zeus, the Romans called him Jupiter, or maybe you've heard of the god Poseidon, the Romans called him Neptune. Each of these gods had something special about them. Zeus, for example, was very powerful. He was the god of thunder and lightning, and the Romans imagined him holding a lightning bolt. Poseidon was god of the sea, and the Romans imagined him holding a spear and riding the waves. But Janus, this is how the Romans imagined Janus. Now, why do you think the Romans would choose to name the first month of the year after Janus? Remember how with the new year I said I like to think back about the past year and forward to the new year? Well, I'm not the only one who does that. Lots of people do that. You might even know that reflecting and setting goals for the new year is called New Year's resolutions. It turns out people have been doing this for a really long time. Even the ancient Romans would think back over the past year and think forward about their goals for the new year. Now you have a clue why the Romans chose to name the first month January, after the god Janus. Think about it. Janus has 2 faces. He looks backwards and forwards at the same time. It's just like people do at the beginning of the new year, looking backwards, thinking about what happened in the past year, and looking forwards, thinking about what will happen in the year ahead. You might even take a minute to look forward and backward in your own life. What's one important thing that happened to you in the past year? What's one goal you have for the next year? Now, our calendar today is based on the calendar that the Romans invented. But the Roman calendar isn't the only calendar in the world. People in other parts of the world invented other calendars, and they gave different names to their months. Not every calendar has the New Year around January. For example, you might have heard of the Chinese New Year. That happens near the end of winter, a few weeks after the Roman New Year, because that's when the Chinese calendar says that one year ends and the next begins. There's also the Persian New Year called Nowruz. That happens on the first day of spring. The Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah, is another example of a different calendar. It happens at the beginning of fall. What all of these New Years have in common is that they're celebrations. They're times for gathering with family and friends, and often looking backwards at the past and forwards to the future. So, in summary, January is named for Janus, a Roman god with two faces. One face looks backwards at the past, and the other looks forward to the future. It's a great symbol for what we do at the start of a new year, which is to look back on the past year and to set goals or resolutions for the year ahead of us. That's all for this week's question. Thanks, Zane, for asking it.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I feel bright. It's time to rise. To reach our goals, we gotta realize that if we work together, we can make it better. We are strong. We all belong. Let's make a better world. 1, 2, 3. Where I be, Patriots, Broncos. Thanks for watching, and remember, we are living the questions.